Alright guys, I've owned this for what, about a month now. There is some stuff I'm thinking of doing beside the leather tooled seat I'm making over there. I was thinking of scalloping out the rear fender in the future. And what I can do is I'm thinking of doing something like that. Maybe I can make it like that. That is a steel fender, by the way. Yeah, put a little mark on it. The only thing that will do is if I scallop it like that and open this up here, I'm going to have more. If you go over any water puddles whatsoever, even if they're slight, what that's going to do is that's going to spray the water up on, probably up on my mirrors. It's a 300 millimeter rear tire. I will tell you, after owning a motorcycle, I've always wanted a motorcycle with a 300 rear tire. After owning a motorcycle with a 300 rear tire, you want something wider. It's kind of like when I had the Hayabusa, I wanted more power. Same thing with a fat tire like that in the back. When you have a fat tire like that, like if you have a bike that has a 240, you want a 280. If you have a 280, you want a 300. If you have a 300, you want a 330. Another thing with this motorcycle, but I'm serious, I'm happy with the 300. The motorcycle eats up gasoline like nobody's business. It probably gets about maybe 10 miles to the gallon. I don't know if it's the same with other Ridgebacks, but this one here, I still don't know if the guy changed the cam or if it's the cam that came with the bike. I think he changed the cam. I have to try to get a hold of the original owner to see if he put a different cam in here, because this gets about 10 miles to the gallon. A fat tire and motorcycle, they are hard to go around turns. I mean, you actually have to put your weight into the turn. It's kind of like, you know, whenever you see the drag bikes at the end of the drag strip, you see how the riders are like leaning to one side to make it turn. That's the same thing with this. With the shifter, sometimes when you take your foot off of the peg, you pull the shifter up and putting it into a higher gear. I've already done that. This also has, let's go over to the other side. This has compression release valves. That's one there. What I do is before I start this, I press both of them in, and then as I hold my start button down, I press this one in. A lot of guys don't do that. I've been doing it recently because this did get compression lock on me one time. I went to start it and it was compression locked. And what happened is I ran the battery down trying to start it, and I forgot all about my compression release valves. So that's why now I press these down every time I start it, and I haven't got compression lock since. And let me see what else do I like about the motorcycle. It's very comfortable for me. It's easy for me. It's easy to ride. I mean, even though it's a rigid, it still is a soft ride in my opinion, because I don't hit bumps anyway. You are a rock star when this turns a lot of heads. I got a lot of heads turned on it, guys. It backfires. Backfires a lot. Let me see here. I clean my belt. You know, when I clean the motorcycle, I also clean the belt too. I clean the inside and outside of the belt. You know, we put it up on that motorcycle stand, and now this winter, all these parts are aluminum. These are all polished aluminum. That's aluminum. That's aluminum. All these are going to get polished to a high chrome. That's aluminum. This is all aluminum. That's aluminum. This is all aluminum here. That's aluminum. These I already polished these, but these are going to get even more polished. That's aluminum. The hubs, the inside of the wheel, the inside of the hub of the rear wheel. There's another one on that side. The license plate, that's polished aluminum. The kickstand steel. You know, as you see, we already ball cutted the gas cap, and we ball cutted the oil cap. The tires are good. Actually, what this needs is it needs a rear rotor. I'll replace that next year, hopefully. And hopefully next year I'll be able to finish the leather tooled seat. And my future plans for this is I might get flames. I'd like to get flames put on the fender, the tank, and the rear fender. Probably some kind of silver ghost flames. Right now, financially, ain't happening. Hopefully in the future. So, okay guys, I'll catch y'all later, man. But these motorcycles, they're not for everybody. You know, they're doesn't have a gas gauge, but you kind of know when after you ride the motorcycle for 1 or 2 months, you know how it's going to eat up the gas. It's just like it doesn't have a gear indicator, but you know when it's in first gear, when it needs to go into second, when it needs to go into third, when it needs to go into fourth, fifth, and sixth. You know, it's like when you hit 20 miles an hour, then it should be in second. When you hit 30, it should be in third. When you hit 40, it should be in fourth. 50 is for fifth. Anything over 50, you go into sixth. And as you come down in speed, you shift it down the same way. So, you know, it's not that hard to do, actually. So I really don't miss the gear indicator whatsoever. It's really easy to know what gear it's in. It's like with a Honda Rebel here. This doesn't have a gear indicator either. And believe it or not, this is harder to remember what gear you're in, because you can't really feel it like you can feel it with a big dog. And the Honda also doesn't have a gear indicator. And as you see, the Honda's also a rigid too, because I took the shocks off. That's why we're making a spring seat for this too, and that's going to also be tooled leather. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to either put a Grim Reaper or a skull with some kind of designs on the side, and then maybe a border on that. And for the big dog seat, I'm going to probably put like a she-devil with designs on the side and some kind of a border. And then for the upper part of the seat, we'll see if we can put maybe like a skull or maybe like a devil. We'll put a she-devil on the bottom and a male devil on the top. Or maybe flames, we'll make it look like a hell design or something like that. It's gonna take me a while, because I wanna make that a show seat. I want to make it really nice. All right, guys, I'll catch y'all later.